Pakistan is expelling thousands of undocumented Afghans across the border. According to the United Nations, Pakistani authorities have forced more than 450,000 to return home. And Human Rights Watch organisation says that more than 20,000 have been directly deported. They include women, human rights defenders, journalists and former government employees who fled Afghanistan after the Taliban took over in August 2021. They are at risk of persecution when they return. Now, Pakistan estimates more than 1.7 million Afghans have been living in the country without documents for years, and most arrived in waves following the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan in 1979. Now, the deadline to leave voluntarily has passed, and those who've overstayed there are facing monthly fines of $100. Osama bin Javaid reports now from Torkham on the Afghan-Pakistan border.
After spending 40 years in Pakistan, Ehsanullah is back in Afghanistan. He stayed there to settle business affairs when the first deadline for undocumented Afghans to leave expired. Now he's decided to return home. He was 12 years old when he crossed into Pakistan with his family, and now he has a son of nearly the same age.
We are happy for the people of Pakistan. We've spent a lot of time there. They've been good to us. Pakistani police, however, did not treat us right. The government and police never behaved in a good way. Afghans were detained and forced to pay bribes, and then they would let them go.
Of an estimated 1.5 million undocumented Afghan refugees in Pakistan, more than 500,000 have either been deported or have left voluntarily since last year. It's a difficult transition for hundreds of thousands of people to leave everything behind and come to this country. This is just a staging point. From here, their journey continues to their places of origin inside Afghanistan. The government of Pakistan says it's expelling everyone who does not have legal documents. That means thousands of Afghans, many who were born in Pakistan, must leave.
All of the illegal migrants are being sent back. They have no right to be part of any activities in Pakistan. Those citizens who are here legally with Afghan civilian cards or refugee status, Pakistan's policy is that they cannot take part in political activities in the country.
Many Afghans believe the expulsion is a pressure tactic to push the Taliban government to hand over people who Pakistan calls terrorists. The Pakistani Taliban, or TTP, carries out attacks inside Pakistan while its leadership is based in Afghanistan. Pakistan says the measures are to curb illegal migrants who are a burden, and some are involved in criminal activities. Near the border with Pakistan, this 2-kilometer-long camp is ready to deal with tens of thousands of new arrivals. Those who arrive here are registered, provided with temporary shelter, and given $130 each to help with their onward journey. Taliban leaders deny the influx of refugees will be an additional burden. Refugee camp officials say, regardless of their illegal status, people should be treated with respect.
Right now, the Pakistani government is lenient with the refugees, but still we are prepared in case they change their minds. They've even jailed women and children. We have told them that if they have to, they should arrest or jail the men, and they shouldn't arrest women and children.
Ehsanullah's son misses his friends and school in Pakistan. For now, he's helping his father start again in Afghanistan, which he hopes will be their home forever. Osama bin Javaid, Jazeera, Torkham, Afghanistan.
Hassan Khan joins us now from Islamabad. He's a Pakistan-Afghanistan analyst who's written on both countries for the past 20 years. Mr. Khan, good to have you with us on Al Jazeera. Before we get into the intricate politics of what's going on, we seem to have sort of a D-Day for expulsions at least once a year with the Afghan refugee story. Is this the last time now as far as the Pakistani government are concerned?
Thank you very much. I think the government policy of expelling the illegal immigrants, whether Afghans, whether other nationals, is still, that's a policy and still continue. However, the difference now is that instead of arresting them or forcibly evacuating them, Pakistan's new approach is to convince them or to encourage them to go to their country. Most of these 1.5 or 1.7 millions without having any documents, neither they have the POR card, neither they have the Afghan citizenship card. So Pakistan's own problem was, one, Pakistan was facing a lot of economic issues at the moment too, and then Pakistan's security facing a lot of security challenges, especially at the provinces of Balochistan and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. So this decision was taken that those who are not registered, those who do not have any record with the Pakistani authorities, they shall go home to their own country. And Afghans were particularly mentioned. The reason was there are millions of Afghans. They were just crossing the border to Pakistan at various points. Right from 1979 till date, Afghans were coming to Pakistan, especially via three border points like the Chaman border points, like the Torkham border points, or the Ghulam Khan, or the Angura border points. But now the policy is Pakistan will continue encouraging the Afghan refugees to go back to their countries, but the policy will not be the one which the earlier caretaker government pursued by pushing them, forcefully arresting them or putting them in jails or in internment centres.
OK, if that's the case then, are the refugees perhaps just pawns in a much larger game of the ongoing deteriorating relationship between Islamabad and Kabul?
I think to an extent we can say that the reason was when the Amarat-e-Islami or the new Taliban government came in Kabul, Pakistan was expecting that they will not allow, as per Doha Agreement, the terrorist group to use the Afghan soil against any country, including Pakistan. But unfortunately, the day Afghan Taliban took over the government in Kabul, the number of terrorist acts in Pakistan increased phenomenally, and mostly in terrorist in suicide attacks, the Afghan nationals were found to be involved. So Pakistan time and again approached the Kabul administration to rein on them and follow the Doha Agreement, where it was the Taliban agreed not to allow its soil to be used against Pakistan. However, instead of responding to the Pakistan's request, the Taliban counter-blamed Pakistan for encouraging the ISIS or Daesh terrorists to launch attack inside Afghanistan. I think that was the deteriorating point where Pakistan's, especially the military administration, that took this decision that this is the time, if Talibans are not responding to the Pakistan request, these refugees, especially those who are not having the proper documents, Pakistan enforced a one-document regime for all, particularly for Afghan. Previously, thousands, as I said earlier, thousands of Afghans were just crossing the border without having any documents. Now Pakistan has strictly enforced this decision that no Afghan will be allowed without having a proper visa or travel documents. Second, Pakistan started pushing those refugees who were not having any registration card or the travel documents, pushing back to their country. So they were in hundreds of, like close to 500,000 Afghan refugees, including the families, including women and children. They were just pushed to the border point and sent across without, I think, giving them an opportunity to pack up their businesses or to collect their belongings and properly sell them up and go back.
OK, well, there, unfortunately, we'll have to leave it, Mr. Khan. We'll see how this last wave fare in the coming weeks. And, of course, I'm sure we'll get more analysis from you in the days ahead. Thanks for joining us on Al Jazeera.